I lived in an old house, worn and faded, but still my own. I longed to repaint the walls and refresh the decor, yet I had no money for such things. Mr. Goddard had said to live as though your wish were already fulfilled, so I began to imagine that my shabby house was brand new. I pictured fresh paint on the walls, new furniture in every room, and my dream decorations neatly in place. In my mind, I walked through those renewed spaces, admiring the perfectly painted walls with quiet delight. I revisited this scene often, by day and each night before falling asleep. Not long after, a registered letter arrived from a London association. Inside was news of a payment from a woman I had never met. Long ago, I had briefly known her brother and, years later, had quietly arranged a small funeral when he passed. I had heard nothing from that family since. Now, with the money in hand, I could not only transform my home, but also accomplish many other dreams I had carried in my heart. Experienced artists and friends discouraged me. They admired my work and admitted my talent, but said this kind of art would never bring recognition or sales. I refused to accept that. I kept repeating to myself, I'll gain recognition and my work will sell, though I had no idea how. Then, last fall, after hearing Mr. Goddard's lecture and reading his book, I decided to use imagination to create my reality. I pictured a gallery wall filled only with my paintings, imagined myself standing there in excitement, and even saw red stars on the pieces, marks of a sale. Just before Christmas, a friend called to say she'd shown my work to an art importer in Pasadena. He asked to meet me, and as soon as he saw my first piece, he proposed a spring solo exhibition. On opening night, an interior designer loved my work and commissioned a collage for a child's room, later featured in Good Housekeeping's Home of the Year. Another designer praised my art and offered to connect me with a gallery owner for future shows. The exhibition was a financial success for both me and the gallery. What amazed me most was how quickly it all unfolded. Without seeking connections, I found recognition and my own studio. Now I know, when imagination is applied sincerely, no is never the answer. I am neither a moneylender nor someone who works for an investment firm, but when a friend asked me for a loan to expand his factory, trusting me to help, I agreed out of personal friendship, offering a fair interest rate and the option to renew after a year. When the term ended, he postponed paying the interest and requested an extension, which I granted. A month later, still unable to pay, he asked again. I'm not in the lending business, and I needed that money within 20 days to settle my own debt. Even so, I risked my credit and extended the deadline once more. Normally, the usual course would have been legal pressure, but I remembered Mr. Goddard's teaching, never rob another of their ability. Forcing him would have meant denying him the chance to repay through his own capacity. So for 3 days, I imagined one scene, unexpected orders pouring in, my friend overjoyed, telling me he could now repay the loan in full. A few days later, he called. He described what happened as a miracle. Massive orders had arrived, a big contract was secured, and he was now able to repay every cent, interest included. Shortly after, the full payment arrived in my hands.